Well, we're back in the collector's attic.
We have something else.
We have something else.
This is my
Last
favorite
time
one.
we were up here, we were looking at the Rettwagen
Yes.
by Maybach and Daimler, and the first motorcycle. And nearby in the town of Mannheim, Karl Benz was constructing this, the world's first successful automobile.
Isn't that cool?
Now, people have been building automobiles for 100 years
Oh, yes.
before this was built, but this was the first one that was actually fairly successful, and they started selling them to people, and in fact produced somewhere around 1,000 of these. They were made in 1896, and the Patent-Wagen, because it was patented. Interestingly, when Karl Benz patented this, nobody had patented the internal combustion engine, and he had built his own internal combustion engine of his own design, so that was included in the patent.
Yeah.
And he therefore laid claim to being owning the patent to the internal combustion engine, which a lot of other people who were building internal combustion engines to. Anyway, as always with patents, there were disagreements.
Yeah.
But they did produce these, and they created one of the great publicity stunts of all time to advertise this car. And that was when Karl Benz's when Karl Benz's wife, Bertha, drove this, and she claimed she needed to get to the next town, and the only thing that was available was the car, so she fired up the car and drove it between two cities to become the first female woman intrepid motorist.
Exactly.
And because people were claiming that these things were far too complicated, that for some mechanic or somebody that really had an interest in cars, automobiles, they might have one of these things as a toy, but you certainly wouldn't consider them transportation. So I guess Bertha's cross-country trip was really quite a big deal.
I would imagine.
It actually went something like over 60 miles, 102 kilometers. I'm not good at the math.
Oh my gosh, in that.
In
Wow.
that. It took her all day to get up to her parents' house.
Wow.
And en route, she had to rebuild the darn car a couple of times.
Oh
The
my.
chain broke, one of the chains broke, and she stopped at a blacksmith and had him fix that. And she had to clear a broken or a plugged up fuel line. She dismantled the fuel system and put that back together, ran out of fuel halfway there,
Oh no.
and stopped at a pharmacy
For fuel.
for fuel. Well, I
Wow.
guess they used some kind of petroleum solvent.
Oh wow.
I'm not going to try to pronounce the name,
No.
but where they get it is just at the
At the-
apothecary.
There you go.
There's a reason they called those guys the chemist.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it went, and the kids would have to push the car up the hill because it couldn't climb hills. So anyway, she came up with an idea to put a low gear on the thing so that it could climb hills.
Oh gee.
And coming down the other side, they couldn't stop the darn thing. So she stopped at a shoe shop and had the thing rigged with brake linings, leather brake linings on the shoe.
Leather
the brake
would work.
Shoes. Leather worked. She was quite the automotive engineer.
No kidding. That's amazing.
And before her death, she was inducted into the Automotive Hall of Fame and was granted a doctorate degree in engineering.
That is amazing.
Isn't
Wow.
that incredible? And the thing is, the patent technically should have gone to her.
Right.
She paid for the car. She
Yes.
certainly helped with the car.
I'll say.
The two of them worked on it together, but back then a woman couldn't hold
No.
a patent,
Nope.
especially not a married woman with 5 kids.
Nope. No way.
And they wouldn't even talk about it.
We've come a long way.
Thank goodness. We need to come a bit farther.
Yes, we do.
But isn't that just incredible?
That's amazing.
So Bertha Benz,
Wow.
a name not widely known,
No,
but should be.
it should be.
It
Absolutely.
should be right up there with Henry Ford and the rest of them.
You bet.
Yeah. And so it goes. So this became quite famous, and they, as I say, produced nearly 1,000 of them. And there is one of these in the Peterson
Yes.
Museum in Los Angeles.
Los
We're putting up a whole show on the Peterson Museum here
yes.
soon, and you'll see the the original patent wagon that they have there. It was also reproduced for the 100th anniversary of the car by Benz,
Yes.
Daimler-Benz, and they sold some of those to museums and collectors and other people who wanted. They made 100 of these as reproductions,
Wow.
and those pop up in museums. But the one at the Peterson is one of the original 1896 versions of these. And these are easy to find on eBay, and will set you back about $200 if
Oh,
you could
yeah.
find one, depending, of course, on the condition. This one I actually got from John Larson.
You did?
Or should I say I got it from John Larson's wife.
Okay.
I got my first Mustang from John Larson, Larson Ford of Salt Lake City, if you remember Larson Ford.
Oh, yes.
And their father left it to John and his brother, and they operated the dealership for quite some time. But and John had this, and I always admired it, and I thought it was just really, really neat. And then he passed away.
Oh.
And everybody was kind of coming around, and his wife was selling all of his collection of antique automobiles and Coca-Cola memorabilia and all manner of collectibles that John Larson had, this being one of those things.
Wow.
And since I couldn't afford his live steam locomotive,
No.
I bought his patent wagon
Oh,
instead. So this belonged
cool.
to John Larson, the same person I bought my first Mustang from.
Wow.
So go figure.
That's neat.
Isn't that neat?
That's cool.
So some personal history with it too, along with some very interesting history just as a collectible toy car, and as a very interesting piece of automotive history as well.
Oh, no kidding.
So very cool, very cool. Well, if you haven't been over to the channel, do pop on over to the channel, and if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe, and you can do that by clicking on the famous blue button, Zoink, which is appearing right here, blue button, says subscribe. That will take you to the channel, make you a subscriber, and therefore you will be notified when we upload
Yes.
movies or go live or do something silly. Well, we're not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, and we will see you here again on Sunday
Sunday.
with the Sunday Drive. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.